Welcome to Career Elevation, where we make hiring easy.
We're two former dental nerds turned recruiters who've seen the good, the bad, and the you will not believe this stories.
If you are ready for better hiring, better teams, and better vibes,
You're in the right place. Let's elevate the dental world and have a little fun while doing it too.
you can learn all the skills in the world, but the real lessons come from those who are actually in it.
Today's going to be a little different. We're going to get a little personal. We're going to go behind the blog. Wendy has created a blog that's recently went live on Do. And if any women and men, if you want to look, are in or have never heard of Do, I would love for you to check it out. It's Dental Entrepreneurship Women. And I would love for you to look into them. They're great. I have not officially became a member yet, but that is coming in the near future. But I was able to
Yes, ma'am.
attend with Wendy, and it's life changing. These women are amazing people as humans, as dental professionals, as entrepreneurs in the world. And Wendy is one of those people that I get to look up to. So I wanted to really take the time today on our podcast and honor her and let her tell you a little bit about the blog that she did, because I think it could be life changing for so many people.
Yeah. And there is something called DO, Dental Entrepreneur Women, but there is also one called Dude. There's letters, and I don't know what the letters are because I think it's like two D's in the middle or something. But if you are a dude,
I
a
love
guy, and you want to be in some kind of an environment that's similar to what we're going to talk about today, there is also an option for you. But DEW, DEW, is only for women. So there's another option for you. Carry on. I don't know if you
it.
knew about that.
You can read the blog. Like, I will have the
Yeah,
link
yeah,
down here. You
yeah.
can still read the blog, but I love that they have a dude one too. I think that is cool.
Yeah.
So, when you sat down and wrote this blog, obviously I know a little bit about when you sat down and wrote it and everything, but it was obviously really personal to you. But hard to talk about sometimes. What was really going on behind the scenes of your work and your business side? What's going on in your real life that maybe people wouldn't have seen from the outside? People were obviously thinking, wow, Wendy's got it all together, but as we know, that's not how life is.
Yeah. Well, it was hard after I had my daughter, and I think it was because I breastfed for so long, and I was like, I need to get out of this house, but she wouldn't take a bottle, so like I couldn't leave her, and that was difficult. And I know like you just kind of also get that mom guilt of leaving your kids behind to do something on your own. And it's a bummer that we have to feel like that, but also we need other adult stimulation and go do other things. Like I've always felt because I had to go home and breastfeed her. I couldn't leave the house for that long. And when I did and she wouldn't take the bottle, it was just so hard being in that place. But even after the blog came out and people have read it, there were several people that reached out and was like, I had no idea that you were going through postpartum depression. I'm like, bro, I didn't either. So if you are a newer mom, I think postpartum depression can be like 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, they say it takes 2 years for your hormones in your body to regulate back down after having a child.
Yeah. And my daughter's still not even 2 years old yet. And so it was really after I stopped breastfeeding her, that really made the big difference because I was able to feel like I could do things and not have the schedule that she needed me to have, which sounds incredibly selfish, but as a
No.
business owner, as a mom, you really have to do stuff for yourself. And if you don't and you don't get that opportunity, this can absolutely happen. But if you know of somebody who's a mom, or if you have a wife or a partner that just recently had a baby, just simply asking how are you doing doesn't really help. I feel like there's not a lot that can help because unless the person actually feels like opening up, I didn't realize
Yeah.
that I was going through like a depression time and it's just hard. And what was happening, I didn't necessarily feel like it was my personal life, but it felt like my business was just completely falling apart. But everything that I brought to you and to my team, everybody was so incredibly kind, and I was just honestly shocked that nobody left during that time. 100% honesty.
Do you want me to tell you something that I have never told you? I was actually offered a job not long after that from the base. And I remember sitting here with Mike and thinking, Wendy just told me that, like, I literally 2 days after you told me, they had sent me an email. And I was like, what do I do? And Mike was like, what do you want to do? I said, what I want to do is I want to stay with Wendy and I want to fix this with her.
Oh.
And he was like, well, then do that. And I was like, okay, well, we're going to do that. And I remember just sitting back thinking, that's not something I want to tell Wendy in this moment. But now where you're in the headspace, like I want to tell you that because I want you to know that like I value you as a person and I valued you at that time, even when you felt like maybe you weren't at your best. Like that wasn't something of thinking about jumping ship. I remember you telling me this and I didn't cry on the phone with you when you said that we were probably going to have to make a different change in what's going on in the business. I didn't cry because I didn't want to upset you more. But I got off the phone with you and I cried because I was like, oh my gosh, like, I had just been with you a year at that point, and I was like, that stinks because I
Well,
was
it was a
so
lot of pressure
excited
on
for
you
this
and
with
the
you.
rest of the team.
But you know what? It was pressure, but like I thrive under that, and I think that comes from me being a military spouse. I thrive under pressure. I live in a constant state of chaos and pressure. And I've also taken that into my momhood too. And I don't know if it's me being a mom of three or not, but like when you said like you don't want to be selfish, all I can think now in Destiny's 31-year-old mind as a mom of three whose kids are now pretty self-sufficient in most cases. Obviously,
Yeah.
Trey is almost four and kind of rambunctious. Don't get me wrong, he needs somebody watching him. But I've letting the reins go a little bit. I can be selfish. I can still be Destiny and focus on me and still be a good mom. And you can still be Wendy and be a good mom and be a good business owner. We're allowed to say, hey, this shit sucks and I need a break. I'm overwhelmed. And if I don't get out of this house by myself, I'm going to lose my mind. And that's okay. It
Yeah.
doesn't make you crazy. We're not
Yeah.
crazy. We're just human and everything, even if we have good husbands, because I know you do and I know I do, and I'm appreciative of both of them. They both are hardworking, amazing men and great dads. But at the end of the day, the mom is always still the default parent. No matter what happens, the mom is the person everybody goes to. The mom knows everything that's going on. You're allowed to say, I need a break. I need to
Yeah.
step away.
Mhm. But when breastfeeding and a baby doesn't take a bottle, you can't step away.
Not
And
then, but
and
you
that
can
was
now.
I can now. And I'm so grateful. And that was the most trying time of my life. So
Bright side, you have two beautiful kids and you don't have to ever do it again if you don't want to.
and I will. Mostly because Mo had a vasectomy. But also I
Not
want
to
to. I
mow.
want I want to be done it too. So I'm so grateful and I'm tearful because you shared that, but more in a happy way than in a sad way. So I'm so grateful that you stayed with me and even through all of that and the hard stuff and being with me for only a year too. Like that's incredible. So I appreciate you.
Of course. Well, this one's gonna hit a little deep, I guess. Where was the moment where you were like, okay, I have to have this conversation with Destiny and the team? Like, I am at the breaking point. Something has to change. Like, not just in business, but as you as a person. Like, when was that moment of clarity for you?
Um, when I told everybody that I was going to go find a job so that I could pay you employees, that was it. Is there was too much stress, couldn't figure out how to get more clients to help us sustain. There was just an insurmountable amount of weight on my shoulders. And I was just like, I don't want this to fall apart. I've worked so hard for this. I don't want this to be a failed business. I know that I can make it through. We're just going through a really rough time right now. And what led to that was about to not be able to make payroll and I was sick of it and I had to take two loans for my husband, so thank God for him and his ability to be able to do that, from take a loan from his business to be able to do so. And that was really difficult, and I just came back from a conference too, and there was a lot of conversations about paying yourself and making sure that you pay yourself. And so if you are a business owner out there and you haven't paid yourself in a while, or if you're a manager and you know that the doctor hasn't paid themselves in a while, whoever is listening to this and they know that, it is now kind of your responsibility to ask how you can help, what you can do, who you can turn to be able to help you figure this out. And if you need recommendations, you need a hand, I've been there. Feel free to reach out. I will have zero judgment. I've been in your shoes. And I wrote this article because, not that I wanted to, because this is like kind of scary to talk about in
Not
the
that she
terms
wanted
of
to do this podcast either, but I kind of forced it on her.
so true. But I know that it will help people, which is why I wrote it. And also the fact that I created the culture that I did to be able to allow myself to crawl out of this. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to. And there was many times where I thought, I'm just going to close the business and turn off all social media and turn off my website and my email and just be gone and just go find a 9 to 5, go find a desk job because it's too hard. I don't want to do it. And my team pulled me out of that.
Well, I think you would be a great employee and I would hire you anywhere as a recruiter. I would absolutely hire you anywhere. I'm so glad we didn't have to do that. I'm so glad that things turned around and the end of the year was so prosperous and fruitful for us as a business to get back to where we need to be and to allow us to be in the headspace to help the clients the best way we can. I know this past month was a record setting goal for us. We did super great and I can't wait to continue on with that. And I think that is a testament to everything that you went through and who you are as a person and who our team is together. And I know you highlighted that in the blog too. So make sure if you haven't read the blog, I want you all to read it because, this is just touching on points of it. But Wendy really took her time that she didn't have to take to write this so that it could help other people. And I just think that shows her as a leader. So when I talk about you as a leader, you're the type of person I tell people all about how you're so understanding my life. Like I said, I am a chaos coordinator. My life is chaotic as can be with 3 kids, a military spouse who decides he also wants to run his own business as well, and everything else he has going on and that I have going on too. So I have taken so much from Wendy, and she has allowed me to be flexible in my needs. If I need to go to a kid's school event, I can. If I need to be at a softball game earlier, like I can do these things. If my husband calls and says, "Hey, I'm going on a work trip to California. Can you go next week?" And my kids happen to be out of town with their grandparents, guess what? Wendy says, "Take your computer, go enjoy California." Absolutely. And it's all about making sure that your employees feel that value and feel cared about in more than just the workspace. Like I have such a great work-life balance and stuff. And that also went into the fact of when that base called and offered me that, I was like, why would I leave somebody that truly cares about me to go somewhere that I'm just a number at? Like, I would work for a contract company who doesn't know my children's names. They don't know that my husband just opened a business. They don't know these things because we have built this culture between us. You have built this culture in your business with our team that is undescribable. And I hope so many other offices can see that and can see that you and our team can help them build that in their companies too and with their employees. So, if you need any help, not a business sales here, but shout out to us. We can do that if you need any help there. So obviously, as the CEO, as the owner of Careers Elevation, there's a lot of pressure on you to hold everything together, which is obviously why you took so long to get to your breaking point about it. It's why you didn't realize it was happening because in a woman who is determined mind, and I know because I feel like I can get this way myself, you don't see things are wrong. You don't see it's wrong. You're just doing it because you have to. I've had so many people ask me in life, like, how did you do that? How are you getting through times when your husband's not around and you're working full time and you have 3 kids? I just do.
You don't have another option.
I have to. Like, what else am I supposed to do? I remember when Trey was a newborn. I was in Walmart, had a newborn on my chest, had a 1-year old in the buggy, and Sophia's walking next to me holding onto the buggy, and a lady looks at me and she goes, "My goodness, I would never go grocery shopping by myself. How do you do that?" And I looked at her and I was like, "Well, we got to eat." I'm, like, I don't know what you want me to do. And it kind of annoyed me in a sense because what do you expect women to do? Honestly, we're badasses. Women are badasses. And if any men are watching this and you think otherwise, I want you to go kiss your wife on the cheek and tell her thank you for everything she does for you because we hold it together really well. And Wendy is the epitome of that, holding it together in her life. What was that turning point for you where you were like, okay, I can dig myself out of this? I can change the emotions I'm having right now. I can change the business and make it what I want out of it. When was that light bulb moment for you?
I don't know exactly, but I just thought like, Wendy, you've been in difficult situations before. Why can't you figure this one out? Figure it out. You can do it. And also, I think that honestly, I think Do made a huge difference. I would go to the meetings. They have coffee chats. They have one on Tuesday midday, and they have one on Wednesday morning. And I would go to that, and I would get the opportunity to speak to other people and see that there's more of a community out there. And I think that that honestly helped me a lot as well, because beforehand, I just felt like I am me. And if I tell anybody else my problems, my issues, they're going to judge me and they're not going to refer their clients or their friends or other, dental offices. They're not going to refer them to me because I'm a hot mess underneath. And so I felt like I had to keep it all together. And then I met Dew and I started going to more of the meetings. And I think that just being able to have such a good community that everybody was so vulnerable and it was like a locked vault in there. Nobody was allowed to have their meeting recorders in there. We always had to kick them out. And it was really nice to be able to see other moms that were going through hard stuff and that they could make it out and that they could make it through. And I was like, if they can do it, why can't I?
Why can't you? Because we can. We can do anything. And I
Yeah.
love that this age of, I don't even want to say just women, this age of people in the universe right now are really seeing that. You can put your mind to anything and do it. Think back 10 years ago, what we were doing in dentistry. Scanners were basically not a thing 10 years ago. We were doing alginate impressions, we were pouring up models, we were taking all this extra time. Could you have imagined 10 years ago where we are now? No, but we can all do hard things. We really can if we put our mind to it. And even if it's something where maybe you feel uncomfortable, comfort creates laziness, in my opinion. If you're comfortable, you're not trying. You need to do hard things to grow, and I feel like that's something you've always told me. Like, you got to get uncomfortable to have any kind of growth. And so maybe you were uncomfortable last year, but look where you are now. So I am so grateful for that uncomfort in all of our belts with our whole team. And thinking back to our team, you talked about every single one of us in that article, even our new team member. I'm sure she thought, wow, Wendy didn't have to mention me, but she did, because that's the type of person you are. That's the leader you are. And we had different team members at that time, things that were changing and everything. Do you feel like you were tolerating things in our team or in the culture that maybe today you wouldn't?
Yeah. So I had one team member that she was with me from the beginning, and I remember thinking, I wish that she would ask to take on more. I wish that she would do more. I wish that the results that she would provide would be better than what they are. And it seemed like she was getting complacent, and I don't do complacency. And I had a meeting with her, I told her about it, and then I had another meeting with her and I talked to her about it, and I was like, okay, if you're going to do this and I'm telling you, I see that there's something wrong with your performance and you're not changing anything, you're not making anything better, then it's time to go. I have loyalty to my team members. I love my team members, but if you're going in the opposite direction as I am, I can't allow that on my team. And if you are being complacent and you're not learning and growing along with the rest of us, I will not tolerate that. And I mean that in a loving way because, like, it sounds like I'm kind of being a turd, but on the other hand, I want my team members to grow and evolve. And when I hire anybody on, I tell them that. And she knew that. And so when I let her go and I had promoted Elisa to be my executive assistant, to be my right hand man, to be my body double, basically, a lot of things changed. And she was willing to be there to learn, to grow, to do different things that I hadn't even always asked her to do. And that was what I needed at the time. That's what I wanted. And I could see how things were progressing and moving forward. And when you were with me, it's so wonderful to have team members that get it and that they don't judge you, no matter what you bring to them, no matter what your issue is or the situation at hand is, and being vulnerable with your team members. Like that post, that blog is very vulnerable. And like I said, I don't really want to share it, but I hope that it helps at least one person. And I got a message from somebody who's a new mom, and she's like, "This shit's hard." I'm like, I was just there. I know. And I said, I live like 5 hours from her. And I sent her a message and I said, just to let you know, if you need your house cleaned, if you need to take a break, need to take a nap, I would be happy. I would be honored to get that opportunity to take time out of my schedule to help you. And I think a lot of times people just say stuff and they don't actually mean it. And I hope the way that I worded it to her, I hope that it hit home because also she read the blog and she messaged me and I was like, dude, like this stuff is not easy. And like I said, you need a shoulder to cry on, you need time to talk. I will create time for you. I will cancel. So I never cancel appointments in my schedule. I will cancel an appointment in my schedule if you need me. It's important that you get the opportunity to help and to support and to continuously
Yeah.
check on the new moms too, because this postpartum depression, you don't always know that it's hitting you until you're like, my life sucks and nothing is going to help me. And so sometimes you just have to keep checking. And you said that it takes like 2 years afterwards. So keep checking. Even though those babies aren't so much babies anymore and they're walking around, you can still feel it. So
And
keep
toddlers
checking
are
on those
hard.
new moms. Oh my God, I know. And my daughter's, she's very, very dramatic. And my son wasn't so dramatic. It's like they're different humans. Everybody's different. And so you might have one really easy baby and another baby that's not so easy. So even though you've been a mom before, like I don't think I really got postpartum depression after I had my son, but I did with my daughter, I think. And you can get pulled out and it can happen.
And also, I think as a new mom, when somebody asks you, are you feeling down? Are you depressed? You're automatically like a little defensive. No, I'm fine. You know, you don't have to be. A lot of times people just want to be there for you. Obviously, you have the people that say, let me know if you need anything. I'm never going to text you and say, I need you to come take my baby and let me take a nap because I'm going crazy. I need you to just call me and say, hey, I'm coming over so that you can take a shower. I'm going to vacuum your house or whatever you need to do. That's how you be there for somebody. You just like my best friend, obviously just had my little nephew. He's about 6 weeks old now. And I called Wendy and I was like, hey, my best friend's in labor and she wants me to be there to be her support person, so I'm going to go. And she was like, go. And we spent, I mean, good Lord, God bless my best friend Cindy. She was in labor for her son needs to thank her for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
But, I make sure I check on her at least once a week. If my schedule is crazy with work and school and the kids, like I make sure I call her or text her or send her a Snapchat or something, just saying, hey, how are you feeling? Like, do you want to get together? Can we do this? Like, I have this weekend, but next weekend I'm free. Like, just making sure that she knows I didn't forget about her. Like, that's all you have to do for somebody. Don't say, hey, if you need anything, let me know. Nobody's ever going to let you know that. Call and say, how are you doing?
Not you, not the baby. How
How
are
are
you?
you
How's
doing?
your
I know
day?
the baby's great. The baby's great. I'm sure you're a great mom, so I'm sure the baby's great. No matter who you are, if you love your baby enough to be that concerned, then your baby's fine. But you might not be, and you need somebody to check in on you on that. And that
Ask how much water they're drinking, how much protein they're getting. Do you need me to bring you a case of protein shakes? Because if you're not allowing your body the nutrients that it needs, you're gonna feel even worse.
especially breastfeeding, especially when
And
you're
you're not gonna heal properly either. So
so at the end of the day, you have built such a great culture and something so meaningful here at Career Elevation. And I'm grateful that I get to be a part of it and, be a part of that change and show people what you should really have in your culture, whether it be obviously we're remote, but whether it be remote or in office, you can build this culture in your office too. How do you feel like this experience and this trial of your life reshaped the way you lead?
I think I have gotten more more empathetic, more vulnerable as well. Before, I never shared anything about numbers because I was frankly ashamed by our numbers. And thankfully, I found a way around that. It was a struggle for a hot minute, and I had one big cost that I couldn't figure out how to eliminate, and now I've eliminated it. So I'm very grateful for that. And so now I share numbers because I think that it's helpful. And also, a lot of times in dental offices, they share numbers too. And I was like, if dental offices do it, why don't I? Why can't I share numbers as well? And I think that also helps people to better understand. We created KPIs. I mean, most of the KPI numbers are just on my side. I just share them to say, like, hey, this is where we're at. But I don't allow it. I don't think that I allow it to pressure anybody else into feeling any kind of way because there's only so much that we can do. And most of like bringing in new clients and things like that, that's on me. But my team has really supported me when I share the numbers, when I share these are the KPIs, this is what I want to do with the business, and this is where we have to go, and this is how much we have to make so that you, my team members, can also make more money. And ultimately, that's what I want. I don't want to be paying my team members a wage that they're not comfortable with. I want to make sure that they are comfortable, that they're happy, that they are paid more than the people around them, not only because I don't want them to leave, but I want them to know that I care about them and I care about their finances and I care about their family. And that's important to me. It's important to you. It's important to me. So there was a lot that went behind it, but I think just sharing more about the hardships that I'm going through, I think that was one of the biggest ways that I was able to reshape the way that I lead. I've gotten really, really great longevity within
Oh
this
yeah.
company, and I really have only had one person quit. And when she was leaving, I was like, I'm so sorry. I've never had anybody quit working with me. I don't really know what I need to do. I need to Google it to make sure that I'm going to finalize and do everything I need to do. She gave a 2 week notice, but she was so sweet about it, and she still is. And I should check on her too because she's now a mom, and it's just a difficult time when you're a mom.
Also,
Um,
let's just add being a recruiter is not for everybody.
yeah,
There's a lot of
yeah,
rejection on all ends that you have to learn to deal with, and that's something Wendy has really taught me to be more graceful about. Like
yeah.
a lot of times
And
Wendy is the grace and I am the fire or the fury that needs to come through. And then she tones me down. She tones
yeah.
me down. I fire her up, she tones me down. We're a great balance. So for anyone listening that might be in the same place, feeling overwhelmed, burnout, or their team isn't aligned, what would you want them to know?
um, to get uncomfortable is to grow. If you stay comfortable by keeping the numbers in, by not sharing what your problems are, that's not going to help your team. It doesn't seem like it really correlates, but the more that you share, the more that your team knows how much they have to pick up and help you. So, especially if you are a new mom and you're like, I don't know where to go, what to do. You share your hardships and your struggles with your team, and I can almost guarantee that if they love you as an employer, as a boss, they will support you time and time again. Even if you don't have a baby, but you're just feeling overwhelmed because of whatever the case is, even feel free to give me a call. I would love to have a virtual coffee chat with you and see how I might be able to offer some suggestions. I know that I'm a recruiter and I'm not in a dental office, but I talk to so many dental offices and they bring me their problems and I get the opportunity to help and give them suggestions to figure out what might be a better solution for them in X, Y, and Z situation. And I love that they lean on me for that. You have more friends out there than you know. Even if they're not close friends, the Do community, I could probably call up nearly any person within the Do community and say, I'm having a problem X, Y, and Z. And if they don't have the answer, they can probably point me to another Do member or just another solution that maybe I could find the help in this other solution that they have. So be vulnerable, be uncomfortable, and allow yourself to learn and allow your team members to grow and learn as well.
Fantastic. Wonderful. Thanks for your transparency because I was going to say transparency and communication, I think, are the two values that make a good leader, and you do that so well. You're open with us, and I appreciate that. Obviously, I know there are going to be some leaders that are going to watch this and like, I would never tell my team members about this because they want to have that cut and dry scenario. Do you
I
want
didn't
the
want to.
culture? Do you want the
Yeah.
culture that we've built though? Because
Yeah.
that may be what you need. Your employees may need to see that you're human too.
Yeah.
That way they feel comfortable coming to you when they're in a bind or they're in a situation that may be uncomfortable. They don't have to feel hesitant to come to you as their boss and say, hey, I'm having a really hard time at home right now. My mental
Mhm.
state may not be the best. My kids are overwhelming me or whatever. I need to take a couple days off and just breathe because I'm not my best self right now. You being that open allows them to feel comfortable to be that open because I know I could come to you at any time of the day and say, Wendy, I don't feel okay right now. I need to take a step back for a second. And you would absolutely jump into whatever I needed because that's the type of person you are. And that's the type of leader that I think anybody, any candidate I talk to would want to work for. So at the end of the day, like I'm just grateful that you were vulnerable and shared this blog. And I can't wait for other people to read it after or before that they have watched this and hopefully just gain more traction on people finding out the wonderful person that Wendy Aldaman is all over. I'm so glad you didn't delete your Facebook and your whole existence in the world
I
because
know.
we would miss you, regardless if it's in the dental world or just in my personal world and others too. So,
Yeah. Well, and I appreciate you saying that too. And not only allowing your team members to be able to take the time off that they feel that they need to take off, making sure that when they come back to work, that there's not a huge stack of to-dos on their plate. Ask your other team members to pick up where they left off. Do their best, even if this one team member is the only one who knows how to do whatever. Figure out a way to help make sure that it's not so hard. But also, if you as a team member are the only one who knows how to do something, write down what needs to happen to figure it out, because it's ultimately your decision, your choice as a team member to be able to say, I need a break. I need a minute. And you don't want to take time off if you are the only one who knows how to do something and you're just going to have a pile of it when you come back. So create how-tos, create SOPs, create manuals, log into Scribe or Trainable, whatever it is. There's a lot of different AI training softwares out there that can follow you, HIPAA compliant, all of this stuff. So allow yourself the opportunity to take time off and don't feel bad about it, because we all need it. And we're just in such a culture that people just want you to hustle and grind. And that doesn't feel right. That's not the way to go. That's not how you be a good leader or a good employee. It's just grinding 24/7. So
Definitely, I agree. And obviously, you want to be the person that has that initiative to grind, but you also need to be treated like a human too. That's that work-life balance we talk about. So I'm glad we have it, but thanks again for sharing your vulnerability. That's a wrap on this. I'm going to end this a little different today. If you are struggling in anything or not feeling comfortable in the work environment you're in, or not comfortable in your motherhood, feel free to reach out to us, leave a comment, send us a personal message. Obviously, if you don't want to comment in the open, and just let us know. Either one of us are here to talk. Like you've obviously heard, we're both open books, and we want to feel that you are valued as a person and not just a candidate on our end as recruiters. That's something I like to make people know, is that we care about you too and not just our clients. We obviously really care about our clients, but we care about you as a person and we want to be here for you. So if you need anything, feel free to reach out. We've got more stories, strategy, and SaaS coming next time for you.
until next time, stay elevated.